morning, children. Today I am going to start next chapter, that is Indian economy 1950 to 1990. In this chapter we will study that after colonization, when we got our India independent country, so how we built our economy and our economists and other leaders, how they contribute their effort, what changes, what new plans included and brought into the existence. These all things we will discuss one by one. Before that, let's have a look of the synopsis of this chapter. As we all know, on the eve of independence, we have already studied that India was stagnant and backward. And there are some other features also. India was colonized. India was having distorted growth, means not equal growth. Some part was very much developed and some part were the underdeveloped. And there was imputed economy. Imputed economy means our economy was fragmented one. There was some area was ruled over by some of the emperor, king or something, kingdom rule were there. So there was fragmented economy. So these all things we have seen. Our economic structure was backward, stagnant, colonized, imputed, distorted, and also it was semi-feudal. Semi-feudal means half-taxed economy. Half-taxed economy means in some part, like primary sector, we were paying taxes, and in the secondary sector, we have seen while giving import, we had a lot of taxes, and while receiving from this export, we were getting nothing. So these all things means our economy was not fully taxed economy, but it was half taxed economy. So overall, we got independent. And independence we have got on 15th August 1947. After that, our economists decided, our leaders started thinking how we are going to build our economy and what type of economic system we will follow. I hope you all know economic system. I have already taught you in class 11. Economic system means that system in which we can find out the way of earning, the way of occupations. So we already know there are three type of economic system worldwide is being followed. That you already know, that is capitalist economy, socialist economy, and mixed economy. So these are the economic system, and India had to decide that which economic system we will have to follow and why we have to follow. So let's discuss one by one these economic system. Capitalist economy is that type of economy in which the control, management and operation is done by private sector. This is very important to note down. I will request you all students to note down each and every point which we are discussing in this video. Because if you are noting down, you will have a clear concept about the every topic and point. So what I am going to discuss in the capitalist economy, also known as market economy. In this, the economy is controlled, owned and managed by private sector. They have clear-cut concept. They only used to work for the profit maximization. Their ultimate goal is to earn more profit. So before going into the merits and demerits and the other things about the capitalist economy, you need to know that in economy, there is always some of the economic problem. These economic problems are known as central problem of economy. Yes, we have already studied about this also in class 11th. Central problem of economy means what? What to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce. So this, what we are going to do, what to, for which people, what type of goods, what to produce means type of goods, selection of goods we are talking about. Then what technique we are going to choose to produce these all goods. And for whom means for which section of the society, poor section, rich section or commonly for all people. So these problems actually started questioning to the leaders. It was a big question for the leaders how these problems we are going to solve. So this can be solved only by economics system. It was only able to solve if we are going to follow proper economic system. So under that, we had a three type of economic system. That was capitalist economy, socialist economy, and mixed economy. Capitalist economy, what I explained, this is very easy. Please note down these all things. That capitalist economy are those economic system in which the economy is controlled, owned, and operated by private sector only. Okay, this economy is having only profit maximization motive. Means they do not work for the social benefit. They have only clear-cut concept that they are going to earn profit. Under this, how these three problems will be solved? What to produce? So they will select only those goods which can give them maximum profit, which can be able to convert their input into a maximum profit, maximum outcomes. That those only material they are going to select. How to produce? Now it depends on each and every producer that either they are going to follow capital intensive or labor intensive. If they see the labor are cheaper than the profit, than the input they have invested, then they will have more profit. So they will move towards the labor intensive. Similarly, we are going to see that capital means machineries are much easier to produce more profit to them. So they will move towards the capital intensive. So it totally depends on the producer that which technique they are going to follow under capitalist economy. Then how, for whom to produce? Which section of the society we need to produce that we can get more and more profit. We can have more and more outcomes. So overall, these three problems could have been solved by the capitalist economy. But this economic system always comes with a crutch. And this crutch is there are some of the flaws in this economy that it totally ignores the social and society problems. They do not bother about what society needs. Means the need for the people in the capitalist economy we totally ignore. There is no proper role and proper control of the government over the private sector. It is totally controlled and managed by market forces, demand and supply. Demand, and according to the demand, according to the supply, they are able to increase their output and increase their profit. So this was the capitalist economy. Then second, we came to know about another type of system, that is socialist economy. Under this, again, if we are going to write down the points will be these are those type of economic system which is controlled, owned and managed by public sector or government. Okay? So here the government is whole soul taking the responsibility to solve these all central problem of economy. So here most of the things is ignoring the profit maximization is only to providing services to the people. It is only to help the economy so that economy can be flourished. So now again we are going to find out how these economic system will solve the problem. What to produce? What to produce means here the producer will decide those product, they will select those goods which is need of the people. Suppose in that country it is need of food crops, or it is need of only basic things like city item, home item, groceries item. So they are going to produce such kind of things. They are not going to produce the capital goods. Okay, consumer goods will be produced more and more. Similarly, vice versa, if the country is well developed and there is no much requirement of the consumer good, so they will move towards the capital good production. So under the problem of what to produce and the socialist economy will be solved. If the second problem, how to produce, Again, the choice of technique is totally depend on the producer part, that the government is merely, in most of the time in this type of system, government try to choose such technique which help the people, which help those needy people. Again, here it doesn't mean that in this type of economy private sector is totally ignored, but the more emphasis, more strengthening is given to the public sector. So this sector solve these all three problems. For whom to produce? Again, naturally, it is only for needy people, only for those who require, who need something, want some benefit, or want help from the government. So this was the socialist economy. Again, here the crash is that in this type of economy, we were not able to increase much profit, and we was not able to increase the more savings to invest. So because of these all reasons, there were some of the disadvantages. Now the third part. Third type of economic system was mixed economy. And this economic system is the mixture of both two economic system, that was capitalist and socialist. They're all benefit part, they're all the merit part, when we are going to add together, we'll get the third type of economic system, that is called mixed economic system. Mixed economic system means where the control and management and owned by market forces as well as government itself. That is called mixed economic system. So overall, while analyzing these all economic system, our government, that time of our leaders, came to know that under the above two, means capitalist and socialist, there is some of the problem, there is some of the catches. So we cannot go for these economic system. Suppose if we had followed capitalist, we would not be able to see the problems of needy people. So it was not suited for the India country like India. And if we are following socialist economy, as Jawaharlal Nehru that time was in favor of socialist economy more, if we had followed socialist economy, means we will totally ignore the private sector. It means we will not be able to increase our income much. So it was finalized that India should follow mixed economy, so that we can, one side, we can help the people to overcome from the situation. As we all know, our economy was stagnant, backward. So to remove these all backwardness, to remove these all stagnation, it was needed that we should produce, we should do our occupational structure in such manner that the needy people can get more benefit. And as well as we also wanted to increase our income output. For that, we had to go for the capitalist type of, means market forces also. So we combined together, and finally India had an economic system that was mixed economy. After finalizing the economic system, it was necessary to plan how this economic system we are going to execute. Before that, it is very much necessary to know that India, after getting the economic system, they had economic planning. And this economic planning was done as per the Industrial Policy Resolution 1948. That is called IPR 1948, and also Directive Principle from the Indian Constitution. We had a two clause, we made it IPR 1948, then there was a directive principle we written on in the constitution. According to these two, we had a economic planning, and this planning was done in the commission. That commission name is Planning Commission. Yes, we all know currently it is known as Niti Aayog. So that planning commission was headed by, the chairperson of the planning commission was Mr. J.L. Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, our first prime minister. And we had only two resources, natural resource and with human resource. So under this planning commission, with these two resources, natural and human resources, it was finalized that how we are going to make our economic system. So yes, what was the outcome of this planning commission? The outcome was of this planning commission 5 year plans. That same 5-year plan which we always studied, and we always get to know that the 5-year plans, it was made, it was decided in the same planning commission. And in this planning commission decided each plan, whatever we'll make, will execute it for the 5 years, and then after the critical appraisal, critical assessment, will again relaunch the next 5-year plans. So in this manner, 5-year plans came into existence. So in the year 1950, 1950, Planning Commission was established and headed by Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. He was the chairperson of this Planning Commission, and always remember, Niti Aayog chairperson is always Prime Minister of the country. Okay, so that time Prime Minister was our Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. So he was the chairperson of the Planning Commission, and in this Planning Commission 5-year plans came into existence, and finally it is executed in 1st April 1951, and it was for 31st March 1956. This was the first 5-year plans. Now let's discuss what was the goal of 5-year plans and why we executed it. Goals of Planning Commission. It was very necessary to know that how we are going to plan and what will be the main objective to have this planning commission. Remember, again I'm reminding you, these planning commission was also as per the directive principle by the Indian Constitution it was made. Under that, whatever the instruction was written down, accordingly we had a planning commission, and our goal, objective for the planning commission was actually only 4. That was to bring growth and modernization, self-reliance, and the equity in the nation. These 4 were the main goal for the planning commission, that we wanted our country to be grow. As we have already seen in the first chapter that our national income was very low, per capita income was very low, it's below than 2%. So because of these all reason, India wanted that the country should be growth. But the growth was not, we had a plan that the rapid growth, rather than steady growth. Here the growth means we are talking about the production sector, means all the producing sector should be grow, and the output should increase, and also the national income of the country should increase. As we have faced our economy facing in all occupational sector like primary, secondary and tertiary, mainly in primary sector, we have seen there was a very tragic condition. So we wanted to overcome from this situation that was very much needed to have the rate of growth, means the growth rate of the nation should increase. So now the second goal was to bring modernization. As we have already seen, our economy was backward and stagnant. There was no new technology, because that time the technology was too costly for us, and even whatever the machinery we were having, their repair and maintenance was also very much costly. Because of that, we had a lack of new techniques and tools. So it was needed to bring modernization in each and every sector, not only in the industrial sector but also in the primary sector. We had to develop our agriculture sector very much, because 85%, we have already seen, more than 85% people were working in this force, in this field. So overall, modernization bringing not only in the respective occupational sector but also in the living standard of the people. As the economy was growing worldwide, there was development, more development, technique was increasing. So it was very much necessary to be in the competition with the other country. We need to have proper modernization. So modernization will not only bring changes in the occupation sector but also will change the standard of living of the people and the thoughts also of the people. The third was the goal of self-reliance, and this is very important goal. Self-reliance goal says that not to depend on other country but to produce as much in within country. Means self-reliance means becoming self-belief, self-reliant, no need to depend on others, self-dependent. That is called self-reliant. Means India wanted to produce as much as within domestic territory, that we need not to buy any inch of the product from the outside of the country. except those commodity which we are unable to produce, like capital, tools, and petrol and all. So we wanted to produce as much more and more so that we can become self-dependent and we need not to depend on other country, and also we do not want it to be in the competition of other country. Why? Because we were having less of foreign exchange, so we do not want to waste of those foreign exchange. Rather, those foreign exchange could have been used for the development of the nation. So third goal was important, that we wanted to be self-reliant. And the fourth, as per the NCERT, only four goal is there. Fourth was equity. Equity, here we are talking about all the people. There should a reduction in inequality. Inequality means there should not be any kind of gap between rich and poor, which we were having because of this colonization and colonial system. They had created a lot of differences, lot of gap between the society, zamindars, farmers and all. So because of these all things, there was a problem, poverty. We all know that a much problem, poverty was there, and unemployment kind of problem. There was unequal distribution of income. So we had to remove these all things. So for that, it was decided to have in the planning commission that we are going to provide equity to all the people, means equal rights, equal opportunity of work, equal opportunity of education, means everything there should be equal. So there should be equity in the economy. In some of the book you will find another one is also was the goal. Later on it was added to provide employment opportunities. But as per NCERT, only 4 is given. But if you want to write fifth one, you can also write, no problem is there. That is employment opportunity. Means providing each and every people employment opportunity was also one of the goal of planning commission. So thinking about these all things, we are going to understand that how these goals were, we were able to achieve these all goals or not, or was any kind of failure, or was there any difficulty to achieve these goals. The main objective of the planning commission was to reduce the problem of poverty and increase the national income, reduce the inequality system in the country and backwardness of the nation, and to bring back the nation into a modernized nation. So this was the main goal of planning commission. We will discuss more in the next topic, that how we achieve this planning commission, these goals of planning commission. Till then, wait.